If you serve the intellectual and developmental disability community in any capacity, this presentation is for you. We want to share with you how our MyGuide program securely connects individuals with their support system from the setting of their choice, even if that means from a safe distance. Technology connects most people with their community, but not the most vulnerable, those with disabilities. I'm Dr. Maria McWhort, and together with clinicians and service providers, my family developed MyGuide, a customizable cross-platform app that delivers self-directed support where and when it's needed. Interactive multimedia guides can be personalized for any activity or experience, from self-care to mastering new skills and communicating needs and preferences.
It gives me more power. It gives me more freedom. It gives me more independence. To say, hey, look, I'm the boss. Instead of them being the boss, I'm the boss over my medication, over when I'm nervous, over when I'm angry. Being able to have a device in front of you to where you can customize it yourself, I feel like means the world to someone like me with a developmental disability, because other devices out there are customized for you already, but this one you customize yourself, and that just means all the world to me.
Anyone the user chooses can securely monitor all MyGuide activities and responses in real time. Our TechMentor program enables universities and industry leaders to contribute to the empowerment and inclusion of all individuals. This program is for your individuals who need an adjustable balance of participation and support from anywhere. Day programs, employment supports, in-home caregivers, residential supports, therapists, or even family and socialization with friends. For any service provider who wants to connect with the individuals they are called to serve, even during a global shutdown, we can show you how to increase independence, communication, employability, and inclusion. We can also show you how to enhance the existing services and supports you've already put in place. And we can show you how to reduce the need for direct human intervention, all while empowering individuals to use technology as a lifelong resource. All of this is possible right now, even while the world is struggling with the latest and possibly the biggest challenge our industry has been faced with yet.
Somebody was having to remind me to take my meds before. Now I have it to where it's set up, where I have an alarm that will go off to remind me to take my medicine. And I just tell staff, hey, look, my alarm's going off. I'm taking my medicine in the afternoon. Where before, staff would have to literally remind me. Where now, they don't have to do that. I have an alarm that goes off. And that alarm says, okay, time to take my meds.
Our MyGuide software is based on an app that my son Daniel, who was born with severe vision impairment, had initially developed for his little brother Dominic, who has autism, in order to play online games with the only people Dominic was willing to interact with. Now, as a mom, I learned things that my 25 years of experience in social work and healthcare administration did not quite specify for me. The hardest lesson I learned was that assistive technology is only designed to accommodate physical deficits, like Daniel's vision, or hearing, speech, and mobility, but not so much for cognitive deficits like what Dominic struggles with. But because the only thing Daniel could see was a computer screen, he learned to use computers as a baby. So by the time I had exhausted all possible assistive technology options to help his little brother Dominic with cognitive deficits like comprehension, memory, and reasoning, while he was facing the infamous service cliff and graduating from Harrisonburg High School, Daniel was able to develop customizable software that Dominic actually loved to use. If you work with the IDD population, you know about the two most common universal needs they have: understanding prompting or instruction, and expressing their thoughts and feelings. Clinical research has shown that these are minimum necessities for accomplishing self-management and effectively communicating with their environment.
My brain works differently than some people. MyGuide lessons are built the way my brain thinks. MyGuide helps me be more independent by allowing me to make choices and reminds me of what to do if I ever get stuck on something. When I first wake up, I turn on my MyGuide. I use morning routine and I take my medicine. On each page there is a set of instructions that can be customized that will help me complete whatever task it is, and when I'm finished with said step, I just swipe to the left and then it gives me a new step. And when I complete the task, it will send reports to MyGuide and my mom would get a notification that I did my goodness. It allows me to tell mom that I'm doing my stuff. I used to have mom annoy me. With MyGuide, she doesn't have to ask me. She doesn't have to drag me everywhere she goes, because she will know that I'll be doing it or not. With MyGuide, if I don't feel like reading, there is a text-to-voice system that comes in real handy. It reads the instructions out loud to me with whatever voice settings I set it to. I can change the picture or the text for each instruction. On one of my tasks, I have a list box that asks me what condiments I want to use. But instead of condiments, I put yes-diments because my favorite word is yes. I can build lessons to help me with really anything. I have clean my room, grocery list, morning routine, laundry, parts of my job. I was doing some stuff in Richmond that was really far away. It functioned just as it did at home. I use MyGuide to be more independent.
Since 2017, we've been collaborating with experts and families to develop a user-friendly system that is fully customizable so that not only can professionals use it as a clinical tool to develop and deliver evidence-based practices, but families can also use it on their own. From a mobile device like a tablet or a smartphone, the individual accesses interactive multimedia guides for activities and communication that have been personalized just for them. And just as the world began shutting down in 2020, we released version 10, which empowers individuals to designate anyone they choose to remotely and securely program their guides and then monitor their interactions with their guides from anywhere, 24/7. This is what makes the MyGuide program a game changer for the industry because it empowers individuals to expand their own support network with people and technology, in person, face-to-face, or remotely, and in the setting of their choice.
This Empower Me student is practicing personalizing her own lunch lesson while she's learning how to use technology functions.
Go ahead. Good job.
What?
What is that? What's
I
that?
don't know.
It's a lunchbox. It's like your lunchbox.
What box?
Yeah, but we can change the picture. So, all right.
So now she's learning how to change the pictures in her MyGuide lesson. And her tech mentor is walking her through this process.
Uh-oh.
It's okay. It's okay. Can you click on tasks right there at the top?
This is the first time this student has personalized a lesson.
I'm going to guide you, okay?
She's very involved making the selections,
Okay. Then we're going to go to
thinking about her preferences, comparing options side by side. These are all cognitive practices that she doesn't have the opportunity to do on a daily basis.
Good job. That was awesome. Okay. All right. Oh, you already got it.
Ugh.
I know. Did you just want to see the picture of Becky? Yeah. Okay.
And so she's just discovered now that she can choose any photo that she wants. If she wants a picture of Becky to represent her lunchbox, and that's a meaningful picture to her, she can certainly use that.
Begin.
When students get to select their own media to include in their lessons, it's empowering all by itself because they're designing the lesson. It builds ownership, it builds confidence.
Tap the tiny triangle.
This is the beginning of self-determination.
Lightly tap. Here, I'll practice with you, okay? Okay. All right. So what is that?
She's already learned the difference between tapping and swiping.
Okay.
She's telling her technology what to do. She's being the boss of her technology. And she's never been the boss of anything before.
No.
No, it's juice, but you don't drink juice with your lunch, do you? What do you
Nuh-uh.
have?
Kool-Aid.
You have Kool-Aid? Okay, do you want to use this as your picture?
So now the tech mentor is going to show her how to take a picture of anything she wants.
Tapping, we'll practice. Okay, then we're gonna go to media.
Now she's going to find the picture of her Kool-Aid that she just took.
Can you find the picture of your water bottle? Do you want to use that one or do you want to use this one?
The student is so engaged with her MyGuide that she's not even distracted when somebody else comes and sits down next to her, opens a loud bag, and starts to have a conversation.
It is a huge burger. Okay, ready? So we're gonna go down here. What do we got? Tap.
My lunchbox.
That's right. Okay.
She recognizes she has her lunchbox.
Okay, what's that?
My water bottle.
What's in your water bottle?
Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid. What kind of Kool-Aid? Fair enough. All right, we're gonna practice.
This is the second time she has done this lesson,
What's the first step that you
which
have
she
to
helped
do?
build.
Or anything else?
I'm better.
That's right. You have
Lucky better.
That's right. You have to get it out of the laundry basket, right? So can you get the shirt?
This is
out of the
practicing.
laundry basket?
She's learning to look
Okay,
to her
good job.
MyGuide
All right.
to find
What are you gonna do
instructions
next? You're gonna tap it, right?
and then hold herself accountable by checking off that she did it.
Good job.
Look.
Yeah, see,
I'm
SpongeBob is giving
Bubba.
And she gets
Give me
immediate
that thumbs up.
positive.
Okay.
Reinforcement.
All right, go ahead and swipe. Good job. Okay, what is the next step that you have to do? Whoop, hold on.
Whoop.
Whoops. Okay. What is the next step you need to do after you get the shirt out of the laundry basket?
Before we did this lesson, we were told she is not capable folding clothes.
Dobby Jack.
That's right, you gotta lay it down flat.
And she chose folding a shirt. It's the first lesson she wanted to do.
Uh-oh.
It's okay. You got it. Here, I'll help you fold this over so they see easier. Okay? Alright. So you've laid it down flat. What do you need to do next?
She refers back to her MyGuide. She gets more thumbs up from
Good
SpongeBob.
job. Alright, you wanna swipe it? Okay, what is the next step
From
you
a
have to do?
picture that has a timer on it, she's reminded that she's supposed to fold in the sides.
That's right, you gotta
Now, the first
fold
time she did this
side
lesson, she needed a separate step for folding
You
each
wanna
side
tap
of the
that?
shirt.
She actually went 2 steps
This
ahead.
time,
That's really awesome.
she did both
Go ahead,
sides
tap
before she swiped.
that. Tap. SpongeBob giving you a thumbs up.
She already did it.
You can go ahead and tap that side because you did that too. And another thumbs up. All right, what's the next step? After you fold in the sides, what do you have to do next?
Now she's remembered. Now, in future versions of this MyGuide lesson, we can collapse those steps. And so someday, one task in a MyGuide lesson for her might be fold a shirt.
Alright, are you ready?
You're gonna say it.
Talk to my bird while he oven heats up.
Do you want to take a picture of your bird on here when you get home?
Yeah,
Do you want us to show you how to take a picture on here?
yeah.
So instead of hitting the
Do
picture,
that after.
we can hit that camera. So hit the camera.
Right up here, this little camera right here.
There you go, right there.
There you go. Then,
And then,
see when you lift this up? That's you. But you can flip it. If you touch this button right here. Oh, that's taking it. Does it flip?
yeah.
That's a good picture.
That is a good picture.
Yeah.
Check or tap voice of my
I
guide.
wanted to read it to me in a soft voice.
Okay, hit voice of my guide.
Voice of my guide.
Make sure it all goes up. All right. Now, These are all the voices that you can try.
I want it in English.
These are all English. There's United Kingdom.
No,
There's
United States.
United States female.
Yes.
Now hit the test button.
Got it?
So we're going to do counting coins today. I'm going to go to my office and get some work done.
1 cent. A nickel is worth 5 cents. A dime is worth 10 cents. A quarter is worth 25 cents. I have 2 nickels and 1 dime. Together, how many cents do I have? 15 cents. 20 cents. 21 cents. 20 cents.
An app alone cannot accomplish all of this by itself, we know. So our mission at Empower Me is to develop assistive technologies that level the field for people with special needs, and then to train communities how to use that technology. Right now, we're especially dedicated to individuals who are struggling with using mainstream telehealth services effectively. So to continue our integration of science into practice during this crazy time, we've established and we rely heavily on our TechMentor program, a special ed task force, a clinical working group, and a developers forum. And what we've learned from all of these are 2 significant pillars of our movement. First, that meaningful human connections are our most valuable resource. And second, that individuals are most successful when they are empowered to make choices about everything: their technology, their relationships, and their supports. They call it being the boss. So how does MyGuide assistive technology support human connection while empowering individuals at the same time?
I have a brother who has autism, and he's considered non-conversational. He can speak, but it's like he'll just run up to you and scream blue in your face or circle, and it's your responsibility to figure out what is blue or what is round that is causing him some kind of issue. And if I asked him to do anything, if I asked him to do his dishes or his laundry or something, he would just fling himself on the floor, and all of the laundry would go on the floor with him. The best way that I could help him, the only way that I could help him at the time, was to just do stuff for him. So I was doing all of his laundry, I was doing all of his dishes, I was feeding him everything. And then one day, MyGuide came into his life, and Empower Me identified me as a tech mentor for my brother, and they taught me how to use MyGuide. And I sort of dipped my toe in at first. I recreated a task analysis, so a step-by-step instruction. I recreated one for how to wash his dishes. His therapist was working on with him. And to my enormous surprise, when I put it down in front of him, he did not fling himself on the floor. He did not throw the device against the wall. He just followed the instructions that I had provided him. And so then I tried it again with his laundry. I tried it again with making sure to put shampoo in his hair when he's taking a shower. And he just kept doing it. And what I realized in all of that was that relationship that I had had ahead of time, where I could only do stuff for him, now I got to be a real big brother and actually teach him how to do this stuff for himself. And that was incredible and invaluable.
We've certified more than 100 tech mentors in Virginia who are service providers, clinicians, university interns, and advocates to leverage technology that empowers more meaningful human connections. For example, imagine if you didn't need to use attendant hours to stand outside the bathroom door saying, "Remember to use the soap. It's time to turn off the water. Do you need a clean towel?" We have dozens of users right now who do their morning and bedtime routines partially or completely independently. So their caregivers can instead work with them on additional skills like a grocery list or preparing for a social interaction or trying ways of coping with sadness. Across care settings, MyGuide is an invaluable tool for providers to better understand each individual, to change it up however and whenever they need to, and to program personalized prompting materials that can only be delivered with technology. And caregivers no longer have to be physically present to build or schedule guides or to monitor interaction with those guides. In fact, many service providers are delivering other waiver services through MyGuide, like day programs, in-home supports, therapy, and supported employment, because they can electronically verify that their clients are using their guides when and how, so they can make changes and adjustments as they master new skills and uncover more needs.
I know personally I got assistive technology for my daughter at home and I didn't have a training on it. I didn't know how to program it. I didn't know how to change it. Once she reset it, I had to call an 800 number. I didn't get a hold of anyone, so therefore it wasn't used.
We could give them a smartphone, our smartphone, with all of the passwords and complete access to everything on there, but it won't benefit their life. It won't improve their quality of life. What we need to do is not only provide them access to technology, but we need to customize that technology to meet their needs and be at their level of skill. So everything needs to be individualized. A good clinician knows that. And the beautiful thing about this is not only do I not have to start from scratch, but the ability to customize already existent material supports is so easy.
It's great to have the TechMentor that you guys have because you've been so easily to reach. You've came out and given us multiple trainings, and we feel comfortable making those changes, and we know how to make those changes.
The nice thing about MyGuide is that you can make those changes in the moment, and you can take pictures, you can include video, you can include audio content that are based on the user, based on the client. So the ability to make modifications on the spot to the program is one of the biggest selling points for me as a clinician, because I can easily, without calling someone, make those changes in the time it takes me to do a social media post.
Technology makes our lives a lot easier. And now what we're doing is creating access to technology for our individuals with disabilities. If the intervention is a personal belonging of the learner and they're able to access that without the human intervention of the family member for the most part, it's some front-end work which has vast positive outcomes for the learner. They're able to access independent living skills so much quicker.
It gives the client an opportunity to be independent as much as they can be, and still be able to get help without staff coming in and doing the whole thing for them.
He's not going to have to look at his staff for reassurance when he's completing a task. He knows what he's supposed to do, but he still looks at the staff to make sure that he's doing the right thing, and I think his MyGuide will take replace of that, and that will be his reassurance that he is doing the correct steps to what he's completing.
And we're hoping that eventually that our clients will actually be able to train our staff on their MyGuide.
Right.
So that they say, well, this is how we do it here.
We have one young lady that does live on her own in an apartment. She has in-home support that comes in the morning to make sure that she's gets ready for the day, and comes in the evening. Weekends, she doesn't have the support. So the MyGuide would be in place of that human support. With MyGuide, that she could actually start living on herself with only very minimal support for the rest of her life.
So, and when we increase their independence, we're increasing their quality of life.
Yeah. And we're giving them a voice.
Mm-hmm. Also, an opportunity with the reporting features that the individual can say how well they think they did with this task or how they feel after they complete that task. And that also kind of is really empowering for individuals, but can eliminate that need for human prompting because, hey, they're doing it on their own. They don't want to have someone standing there telling them what to do.
Also for the parents at home, if they get the reporting, I mean, staying connected with your child is so important, and I know it's going to make them feel so much better to know what their children are doing every day.
That was one of the things that sold me on our very first meeting. I was like, wow, as a parent, that's like huge because, you know, they get so disconnected and they want to be involved. And this is a way for them to, like you said, when your son went away from home that week, you looked at it more than you do when you're at home because you want to know how he's doing and making sure that he's okay. So a lot of our parents, you know, they have that anxiety when they leave, and this is a way for them to stay in touch.
MyGuide has the benefit of compiling all of the data on use of the application. So as a behavior analyst, I find that very valuable because all of my decisions need to be data-based. As an intervention that streamlines the data collection to be done at the same time, simultaneously, it's so valuable. And I think that every clinician out there really needs to consider this as not only a viable tool, but a superior.
The technological prompting is really cool because it's always consistent. You don't have to worry about training, 8 different staff in a group home to do something the exact same way every time, because consistency is what works best for our clients.
MyGuide is a specific technology that is compatible with a clinical approach because it can be customized, because there's so many different displays, because there's so many versatile functions on it. It's the clinician's best friend.
I know that every step is using the same language, it's using the same visuals, it's using the same prompts, and so I can easily control that variable.
In some of the lessons that I've made, we built in, after each step, an option like, did you complete this? Yes, or no, I need help. So that is where, a staff member could be on the Chromebook doing notes and it would pop up that, so-and-so couldn't finish this step and they need help, and they could get up and go help them finish that task or that step to the task and then move on. And it gives staff more time to interact with other clients or get paperwork done or whatever they need to be working on. It gives them both more independence.
It creates a tool that they can continue to use throughout their lives. So one of the biggest issues that we hear from individuals, once they graduate from school, their services kind of stop and they don't have access to services anymore. And getting access to services is really, really difficult. The nice thing about MyGuide is that they can get access to this program, which can help provide a lot of the things that they need help with daily care, with independent living skills, with being successful in the community and possibly in the workforce, because a task analysis that has the steps that they need to complete their job, options without the vocational coaching necessarily, or the vocational coach can come in once or twice a week and program what that's going to look like. So it kind of reduces the burden of human resources, especially for those individuals that can't get services otherwise.
So the impact of MyGuide and TechMentor services are characterized by changes in the individual's level of participation in activities, thought processes, and communication, and also characterized by the changes in the outcomes and the goals that you'll see for the other human supports they have.
Great job. You're all done.
Are we doing the next one?
We can do the next one. High five.
What's next?
Can I get a high five? You're just so into that MyGuide right now.
Now, happy, sad, mad.
Oh, awesome.
And to empower me, thank you so much. It it's just opened a whole new world. And I'm able to do so much more than I wasn't able to do before.